Hello, everybody. This is Joe.
That's Steve.
And you're listening to
Hero Talk. All right. So this is episode 9, and today we're going to talk about the Marvel Netflix shows.
Yes.
So we talked about the TV show S.H.I.E.L.D. and that stuff, and so now we're going to go deep in the Defenders and Daredevil and all that good stuff.
Punisher.
Yeah. So even though Marvel's all connected, it's really not.
Right.
So, all right. So just before we start, like I said, I gotta give my shout outs to Bobby Warden for the shirts. If you guys on Facebook, get that new Hero Talk shirt. Bobby Warden, happy birthday, bro. His birthday just passed. So 2 veterans, and Austin, thank you for the logo. Better do good in school. All right, now real business. All right, first show, Daredevil. Give me your feelings on Daredevil.
Daredevil to me, if you go back to the 90s, I guess it was, to the movie they did about Daredevil.
2000.
It was 2000. It was a major letdown. And it wasn't that Ben Affleck did a bad job in that movie. Mm-hmm. It's just the movie itself, the plot, the story was a major letdown. So when this show came to Netflix, at first I didn't really have all that high of expectations. I figured they would just be another screw up of Daredevil. But then I watched it, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
The Wilson Fisk, that character, what was the episode? It was like episode
4,
3 or 4.
Yeah, when they finally introduced him.
And he bashes the dude's head off with a car. I mean, I was like, holy crap, this is Wilson Fisk. And they had the story right, and the people that got to play the characters are wonderful. They do a fantastic job, and I don't know, man. What do you think?
I totally agree, and agree with the Daredevil movie. Like I said, to talk about the Daredevil movie briefly, it wasn't. I don't think it was bad, and everybody gives Ben Affleck, like, the guy's failed the 2 superhero movies.
Right, but I don't think he failed. I think he was failed by the people who wrote and directed the film.
So let's be so. One, that movie was produced by Fox, and if you listen to our podcast, you know how we feel about Fox, and just another prime example of Fox taking a good superhero and destroying it in a movie, with a horrible spin-off of Elektra with Jennifer Gardner.
That was even worse.
So we're not going to talk. We're probably not going to talk about that.
Well, that's another thing I thought they hit well. Was
Elektra? Yeah, the characters. Yeah, the characters in Netflix are spot on. And like I say, the movie. And I said what I really didn't like about the movie. I was telling Kaylee earlier was the Kingpin in the Daredevil movie. Okay, played by Michael Clark Duncan.
Yes.
All right, now I didn't care that it was a black man playing a white character. What I did care was that the character was wrong.
Right.
So like I used to read Spider-Man comic books, and Spider-Man fought the Kingpin, and at the time when I was reading the comic books, there was Wilson Fisk's son, the Rose, who was another mafia villain, and he's the guy that sniffed the roses and had the whole thing. Not the Kingpin. So when they kind of merged that together, I was like, this is garbage, and that's what I really hate about it, and that being going back to my Spider-Man roots. So the Netflix comes out with Daredevil, and this is Marvel's way to redeem many, many, many wrongs that they've
absolutely.
had. And like you said, the Kingpin, I can't pronounce the guy's name, Vincent Delfino. We know the Gomer Pyle, Law and Order. That guy,
right.
That guy is unbelievable. Wilson Fisk is probably the best.
He is
the best character.
He is such a well-ranged actor.
Yes.
From his character in Jurassic World to his character in the remake of The Magnificent Seven, to his Law and Order character, all the way back to him in R. Lee Ermey in Full Metal Jacket.
Pow, man.
He has a wide range. I know he does a lot of stage stuff too. Mm-hmm. He's a fantastic. He was a great choice, fantastic actor, and I love the first season of Daredevil.
Yes, I do too. And again, I like villains. I always think make the story. The Kingpin was by far, hands down, the Kingpin. I tell you, like, one of my favorite moments in the Kingpin was it shows you how smart and calculating Wilson Fisk is. Like, he plays like he doesn't know. Like, he has his guy that translates for Madame Gao, but he can speak Chinese. Right. And Madame Gao is pretending she doesn't speak English. And when they finally have that reveal, like, they know they're playing each other.
Right.
Like, and it shows you, like, okay, man, this guy, he is in control of everything going on. Yes. The characters in the show, like Foggy, I like Foggy. People give him like a bad rap.
I like Foggy's character.
And Karen Page, and going through the comic books, like Karen is probably one of the most important characters to Daredevil in the comic books.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah,
yes.
So like if you guys don't know, Karen Page, she goes through drug addiction, she becomes a porno actress, then an advocate against porno movies, and in the end she's killed by Bullseye. You know, I guess that's a recurring theme of Daredevil's loves getting killed by Bullseye. So in season 3, which is coming out, I guess end of the year, next year, supposedly they're bringing Bullseye in, which I didn't mind Colin Farrell's Bullseye in the movie, but with the way Netflix is going, it's gonna. I mean, I'm gonna be that spot on. And then like the storyline they said they're gonna use is the Born Again from the comics. That's just gonna be the basic.
And that's where they left us off at the end of Defenders.
Yeah. So and that's basically Wilson Fisk taking his utmost revenge out of Matt Murdock, his life, his family, everything. So I like to see how they incorporate that because like when we left us in 2, man, like in season 2, the jail scene, where Matt goes to see him and the Kingpin like bashes his head in the desk, like that was again another boss scene from the Kingpin. So yeah, like Elektra. You feeling Elektra in season 2?
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely. I thought she was. I thought she was done well. I thought the character, the actress that played her, was good. It was a good selection. I don't have any complaints about this Elektra.
Yeah. I don't either compared to.
And the movie Elektra was quite forgettable, by the way. So.
Horrible. Terrence Stamp is in it. Like how do you have General Zod in your movies?
I know, right? That's crazy.
Horrible. Like I said, like. You know me, like I like to go back and do some research. So Daredevil first appeared in 1964. He's been a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Defenders, New Avengers, The Hand. Like I said, partnerships with Elektra and Black Widow. So he's had some love interest with the Black Widow, which I saw that one of those comic book feeds on Facebook that maybe they can get Daredevil and Black Widow. But again, Marvel's all connected, but it's not.
They won't bring their movie actors or actresses into the TV world. They will mention the movies. They will mention,
Like, come on, like Charlie Cox in a Black Widow movie, that could work.
It would.
No?
It would totally work. Actually.
Another thing I read too with that Born Again storyline is that actually at one point the Kingpin hires the Nuke, which is Frank Simpson in the comics, Will Simpson from Jessica Jones,
right,
to fight against Daredevil. So that would be pretty interesting if they get that character from Jessica Jones to incorporate with the Daredevil season 3, since I mean all the Netflix stuff is all connected.
Right.
So
and something I like about season 2 of Daredevil is they introduce us to the Punisher.
Right.
So the actor that plays him, he's been in a few other things. Most of you will probably remember him from Walking Dead if you watched that show. But he had to be the best choice, I think, for.
Oh, I totally agree.
The Punisher.
All right. So before we jump, so Daredevil season 1, season 2. Which one? This is tough. I mean, that's like awesome versus awesome.
It is. You know what? I don't even think I could pick between the two. And I view that I like them both at the same level for different reasons. I like the first season because it gives me basically a little bit of background and origin story for Daredevil in the right way. It's done right. Everything's spot on to the comic. And the second season, I'm in love with that because of the Punisher.
Yeah. I think that the trial of Frank Castle is probably one of my favorite episodes when Frank goes like Foggy has the case won. And then something happens and Frank goes off in court. That's one of the best monologues ever. And then you find out why. And if you guys haven't watched Daredevil season 2, like I don't know what happened to your Netflix account, but you're way behind.
Yeah,
so
you missed out.
It was the Kingpin. So we're not spoiling nothing.
But Daredevil also introduced you to some other characters that you're going to see in some of the other shows as we progress, like Madame Gao.
Yes,
who is probably my second favorite villain, and then. Also, Claire. You get introduced to Claire. Yeah. And she's very important for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, I did some... Because Claire is based off the Night Nurse, which is actually a character named Linda Carter.
Yes.
But there is a Claire Temple who actually was in Luke Cage comic books.
Right.
So they kind of combine that. But
in typical movie or TV fashion, a lot of times they take multiple characters and make them into one person, which is okay as long as they stay true to the.
Yeah, I call Claire the Coulson of the Defenders because she's the link between them all. working the streets of Hell Kitchen, and then I guess like she was the link to Jessica Jones. That's how she met Luke, and so all right. So the next series they had was Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
And in true Marvel fashion, like no one knew anything about Jessica Jones.
That's right. She was she's a virtual unknown really, unless you're really diehard into
I'll tell you
that world.
Diehard Avengers, because that's Luke Cage's wife in Avengers.
Right, right.
So I knew who she was, but
she, and the series itself actually starts off a little slow. I think you get a couple glimpses of how strong she actually is. Like early on, you get that one scene where she's basically working for that law firm.
She worked for Hogarth.
Right, yeah. And she grabs the car, stops the guy from leaving. So you get some glimpses. But I think as the series progressed, what really made the series and kept me interested was Killraven.
Yes, that again, like I just said with Wilson Fisk, I think the villain makes the story. Killraven made Jessica Jones that first season.
Absolutely.
And to my point is that, did anybody know that Jessica Jones season 2 came out?
I did.
Yeah, okay. Kaylee knows.
But we posted it.
Yeah, we did post. Like, that season came and left, and I didn't even see anything like on the feed. People didn't even talk trash about it because it was didn't
just
have it.
That I to be honest with you, and the Netflix shows are so good. I don't typically bash them too much, but to me, season 2 of Jessica Jones was basically about 10 episodes of filler.
I totally agree. There was a point where I'm like, someone please just end this, and then in fashion, Trish just shoots her mom like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But again, so for people that don't know who Jessica Jones is, late bloomer to the comic book world, she actually debuted in 2001. So her history is that she went to Midtown High. She had a crush on a guy named Peter Parker. Her father worked for this guy named Tony Stark, and they got tickets to Disney World and got into a car accident by a military convoy, which had radioactive chemicals, and that's how she got her superpowers. So they keep the car accident correct, but her link to Spider-Man is what inspired her to be a hero. And then, of course, when they're all part of the Avengers, they.
But that part's kind of obscured in the show.
Of course, in the show, this is
just
just comic book news. Like in the show, they did the car accident experimentation, which is cool because again, you can't link to the real big universe,
right?
But like I say, her main nemesis in comic was Killgrave, the Purple Man, and so check this out. So it's funny. So she was rescued by Carol Danvers, which is Captain Marvel,
right?
And because of all the mind stuff that Killgrave did, she got her head cleared by Jean Grey. And then Carol Danvers, her friend, actually set her up with a guy named Scott Lang, an Ant-Man. So she dated Ant-Man for a little bit. So Jessica gets around the block. While she was in that relationship with Ant-Man, she cheated on, she had on and off relationship with Luke Cage.
Luke had to get his coffee.
Yeah, she married Luke Cage. They have a kid named Danielle. And at one point, she took the persona of Power Woman. So that's Jessica Jones's. That's her comic book history. A little bit more, just as colorful as her TV history. But the main thing with Jessica Jones is again her relationship with Luke Cage.
Right.
And yeah, I
thought she fit well into the Defenders show.
Oh yeah. When we get to like season 1 was great. Season 2 was not.
Right.
And again, I just on the villain. I'm curious about season 3 because they're gonna start because Trish is Hellcat. Another. Did they kill off Simpson in season 2? I don't even remember.
I don't think
so. Yeah. So that let's say Simpson the Nuke, who like I said,
Yeah, I don't think they killed him.
So they have a lot of stuff developing in that show, which can take it to, that level it was in the first season. It's just the villain in the second season was just really just boring, boring. Yeah. So, but again, another thing that saved season 1 was the introduction of Luke Cage. Everybody's favorite coffee drinker.
True. Which is funny because when I originally watched the shows, I watched Luke Cage before I watched Jessica Jones. Mm-hmm. So when I went back and watched Jessica Jones, and you get introduced to Luke Cage's powers when he takes that belt sander, whatever it was, and sticks it on his stomach. I was like, for most people that would have been like a big moment, but for me it's like, oh, I already knew he could do that.
Yeah,
because I already watched the show, but it was cool, and I think they developed him really well early in that series.
Yeah. Yeah. Luke Cage doesn't feel like my uncle. He was watching Luke Cage, and then because he's like, who's this guy? And my uncle read comics back in the '70s. They're like, how do you not know Luke Cage, man? Luke Cage was born from said the height of black exploitation.
It's Power Man.
Yeah, he is the Power Man. Which another thing, like don't go back. Like I love the fact how the Netflix shows somehow throw in the original costumes for all the characters. Like Jessica had Trish had the jewel outfit. They had Luke with the tiara and the chain belt, like from the '70s. Danny wore. They show the original Iron Fist. So I love that. Luke Cage, man, that show. I'd say that show means a little bit more to me because it's a New York show.
Right.
And
it's on the streets.
Yeah,
it's gritty. It's good.
In Harlem. Like growing up in New York in '80s and '90s, I'll tell you each episode in season 1 is named after a Gangstar track. Gangstar is a rapper from New York, I think Brooklyn. But so I listen to Gangstar. I mean that's I listen to that thoroughly. So each track like like it meant something a little bit more to me,
right?
Because it hit me in my youth. And I'll tell you like the episode is called "The Wick," and "The Wick" is one of the best summer songs ever, like 1992, and there's a line in there in the rap which they actually put in the episode. So like us hip hop New York heads like who watch Luke Cage, like when that thing come up, like my Facebook feed was blown up because we all knew the line from The Wick. And like I say, and that, like in the realness of that show, I think is what elevates it to that Daredevil letter. I mean, because I think the debate is Luke Cage versus Daredevil, which one is better. But they're both great in their own different ways because they both hit. Like, I mean, Daredevil hits Hell's Kitchen. Luke Cage hits Uptown Harlem, the black community. And I say, and like, obviously the director's black. I mean, because, I mean, you just feel, it feels. And it's not black enough to where it shuns audiences away.
Right.
But it has that feeling. And it's like the character, like the villains, Cottonmouth and Bushmaster, superior villains.
I liked Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
And we were talking before the show, we both think they killed him off too early into the show.
Well, the actor, the guy that plays him, that guy is awesome.
He's a good actor.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's funny because the characters I hate Mariah. And, I mean, the woman that plays her was Alfie. God, I forget her name. But, like, she's a great actress. I hate Shades, but he's just Juice from Sons of Anarchy, and he was a punk in Sons, and he's still a punk in Luke Cage.
Right.
But I mean, that's the character supposed to play.
I like the whole barbershop setup.
Yeah.
I think that is really good, and I like Pops.
Pops,
the old barber.
And, I like it, which is funny. Again, going back to my New York roots, like the first episode in the barbershop, they talk about the '90s Knicks, and that's why I like okay. Again, that's the only great team we ever had in New York. and the fact that this don't talk about that in barbershops is amazing. But yeah, the villains, characters, story, Luke drinking coffee, Grandma wants some coffee, like
all the women that come in the barbershop want to have coffee. And Luke don't drink coffee.
Yeah. So again, my dumb facts, Luke first appeared in 1972, partners with the Iron Fist, Misty Knight, Colleen Wing, Jessica Jones, who we all see in the show. Again, Heroes for Hire with Iron Fist, which we'll talk about here. He's married to Jessica Jones. Right now he leads the Thunderbolts, which is Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. Claire Temple, the night nurse. I mean, that's, she was in his comics. So, again, like, with Marvel under control, man, they said they take the characters and they incorporate them perfectly. Like I said, because I guess season 3 we're going to have Nightshade. And the way they introduced her character in season 2 was really cool because you watched, I guess, her fall from grace. I mean, and I love that in character development. Bushmaster's still out there. I mean, you thought the guy was he's not just a bad guy. He was a guy that, he was scarred. And, all he just wanted was what was his.
Right, and that's an interesting thing about the Netflix shows. As one thing I think they do really, really well with all the characters, whether the villains or the heroes, is the development and the background story you get with the character, because you feel like you connect with them. It's not like you're just throwing it in there, and you have no idea. If you've never read the comics, a lot of times you watch some of these shows and you just really don't know where this person's coming from, because there are different archetypes of villains. Not all villains are pure evil. Some are born into it. Some are made by circumstance. It all depends. So,
the shows give you enough time to villain development as well as hero development, which I think makes those shows good. My last little fact is that season 2, the episodes are named after Pete Rock and CL Smooth tracks. Again, another hip hop group that I grew up with that I love. Those guys are from Mount Vernon, New York, right above the Bronx. So, I wonder what season 3 is going to be about. But
I don't know, but I look forward to it.
Yeah. My favorite episode in season 2 was episode 10 when Danny came to Harlem and they did the Heroes for Hire. Everybody talked smack about Iron Fist. So
see that.
Yeah. What was your opinion on Iron Fist?
I liked it, but I like the Iron Fist comic. The guy that plays Danny Rand, he I don't know. I can go either way. You give me a different actor, and I'd be okay with that too. But I think this guy, and maybe it's not him, maybe it's a script, but he comes off as a little bit whiny to me, a little bit needy, and in the comics, Iron Fist really isn't that way.
Right.
He's got this really cool V-neck costume, and he's got the dragon on his chest. I mean, he's just completely badass. Oh, pardon my French. And but it's still PG. That's not a bad word. Not in today's world. Anyway.
No.
And I think you don't quite get there with that in the show, but the story in the show is really, really good, and I really like that. I like the fact that I think he blended better in the Defenders,
right? And
I like the fact that at the end of this last season, Luke Cage, when you get to Heroes for Hire, I would like to see them do Heroes for Hire, which I think would save Iron Fist, because I'm not so sure. I know they promised a second season.
It's already done, which is crazy. It's already done,
right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if he'll be able to go beyond that like the other shows, because I just don't know if they'll have to really pull off some magic, I think, to keep that show interesting.
I did read that this season actually shorter, because generally they do 13 episodes, and this season's I think it's 10. So, but they learned from their mistake. I liked Iron Fist. I watched that like in 2 nights. Because I like kung fu movies. Yeah, and to me, Iron Fist was just a long kung fu movie. And it's funny because the character created in 1974 was part of that Marvel kung fu phase with when they were doing Shang-Chi and Master, like all the kung fu comics of the 70s. So his origin is pretty much the same. Like in the his father actually it was his father that actually found Kung Lao, and then went back with his wife and Danny and Harold Meacham, and then they all died, and Kung Lao found Danny and raised them, blah blah blah. But I didn't know that Harold Meacham was part of the Iron Fist lore, because basically Danny went back to kill him for his father's death. So the fact that again, Marvel in control of its own properties does wonderful things with its characters.
Absolutely,
incorporated in the modern world. So, and I was telling Steve earlier is that the way Danny and Luke in the comics got together was because of Bushmaster, and Misty and Colleen was all involved. So, so like those characters together in the comic books, they work great in the show, because they did Misty and Colleen. They did like a little preview in Luke Cage and in Defenders.
Right.
Defenders.
Where you get the really good development on Colleen. I really like her character. I call her Kicking Wing. Kind of like, if you ever seen Joe Dirt, you know what I was talking about. But that's my nickname. But I really like her character, and I like how she goes from being on the opposite side, part of the hand that Danny hates, to be, she sees that they're all jacked up, and
her development was cool. Like when she was in Underground Fighting, that was some badass shit. My only thing with Iron Fist, because the original plan for the Marvel Netflix was to be just Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, then Defenders. But Daredevil was so good, they had to make a season 2.
Yes.
So they threw in season 2 in there, and then it's But then Daredevil season 2 had the Punisher, so it's like, well, let's make a Punisher, and it kind of deviated. Like the stuff was so good, and like I said, they wanted season 2 for Jessica Jones. They wanted season 2 for Luke Cage.
Right.
Like all Marvel Netflix wanted to do was just get everybody together for Defenders. So I thought they just kind of, it felt Iron Fist was rushed. Like it's like, here's your Iron Fist. Let's go to Defenders.
Right. And I think that's part of the reason it lacked a little bit. It's like you said. I enjoyed it too. I liked the show and I liked the character. It's just I felt some things could have been done just a little bit differently to make the show better. And of course we haven't seen season 2 yet, but we'll see how that plays out. But if they didn't correct that error in course.
Right.
We may not get a season 3. That's why I really like the idea of the Heroes for Hire. You bring in Luke Cage and him together.
I agree.
And you'll have a better show.
Yeah, because and again, like you said, like they worked when they got together for Defenders. And my only pet peeve with Defenders was that it was 8 episodes and that Sigourney Weaver was the head of the hand. Like you got Madame Gao.
Yeah.
Like Madame Gao was bad in Daredevil. Yeah, and she was bad in Iron Fist.
My question is, because Sigourney Weaver really didn't do anything except for have her henchmen, do things.
Like, why was she there?
Or Madame Gao actually has powers. She's a beast.
Even Bakudo.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like you had like people, and they all work for Sigourney Weaver, for Dana Barrett. I was waiting for Peter Venkman to come to save the day.
I know, right?
That was she just didn't fit. And the thing is, like, I really like that.
She's the gatekeeper.
Yeah. Oh, poor Rick Moranis. Got to smash that. Just opened the portal for Zool.
Right? Because he's the key.
The best, dirtiest jokes ever in Ghostbusters.
Oh, yes.
Kids don't get it. Yeah, so, like, back to Defenders. Like, the way they all came together, and, like, they all met, and the dynamics worked, I was waiting for that awkward moment for Misty, Luke, and Claire. Misty, Luke, Claire, and Jessica to have that awkward coffee break.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, yes. Claire is the coaster, but Luke is the juice that brings it all together.
Yeah. I guess you could say that. Yes.
Luke Cage, man. The fact that guy gets a cup of coffee every episode, you got to have a Luke Cage cup of coffee, whatever he's in, and I respect that, man. Michael Coulter's contract is on point. So, kids don't drink coffee until you're old enough.
I mean, that's how we originally was introduced to his character. In Jessica Jones, he's working as a bartender in that bar.
First episode.
She was paid to be a private eye and follow this woman around. He's getting his coffee on with a married woman.
The Luke Cage memes. So, Defenders, I mean, you were cool. I mean,
I thought the Defenders was really good overall. Again, we already talked about the Sigourney Weaver thing, her being in charge. But if you look past that and you look at the other main villains, you look at Madame Gao and how it ties everything together. Everybody's all tied together, all these bosses, so to speak. And they're all different fingers of the hand.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. That was cool.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
And then the whole Elektra story from Daredevil came.
Yeah,
they wrapped that up.
That was actually pretty cool because I learned more in a couple episodes of Defenders about Elektra than I got out of the entire Jennifer Garner movie.
Can we not talk about that? It's like that movie's horrific.
I have it on DVD.
I don't. We got to do Office Space and smash that.
Right, I know. But yeah, overall the show was good. I thought they brought all the characters together well. There were no real hiccups or anything. I thought it worked really good. And not only did you get the main heroes together, but you also got Claire and you got Colleen Wing. All of them in one group.
Yeah, Foggy, like the supporting cast members for each. And that's what I really liked. I wish I would like to see a season 2 Defenders, but like if I could have Heroes for Hire and the Daughters of the Dragon, I'd take that.
If we don't need another Defenders, I don't think. But if you do Heroes for Hire, I mean, you could throw in an episode where Daredevil comes to help out, or whatever, so it doesn't always have to just be Iron Fist and Luke Cage. You could bring in the others without, ruining the plot.
Well, Foggy's Luke's lawyer now.
Right. So and and then one thing the Defenders did do is it set us up for season 3 of
Daredevil. Right? Yeah. So go back to that Born Again storyline, which looking forward to. Again.
Yeah, I want to see how they do it. I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I like to say, even though people hated Iron Fist, I have not been let down once with Netflix. No. Even with Jessica Jones, I wasn't let down. It just wasn't good. But I wasn't I didn't stop it.
Right. For me, it was like I watched some shows and I just
yeah.
But I didn't ever have that moment in any of these shows. Most of the shows were extremely good, extremely well done, and I enjoyed every minute of them. Even the ones that were a little drier, like Jessica Jones, I think for me was a little bit dry. Yeah. It took me a little bit to get into that. Even in the first season.
It takes a minute to what's that?
In case y'all wondering, we're not keeping a kid prisoner.
No.
Our assistant producer, she has her young child here, so it's all good.
And you met her before.
Yes,
Kaylee. Say hi, Kaylee. You can say hi. Yeah, she's still here.
Yes.
She's on the team now.
So yes, we brought her in the fold.
We hired her for peanuts. Really?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't have peanuts. I'm allergic, so she gets paid nothing.
She gets nothing. but overall, I was happy with all the shows. I think if I had to rank them in order,
whoa! But you're forgetting one major show.
Oh, we are actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wait.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about The Punisher.
Come on, man, because Daredevil season 2 is so good.
Let's talk about Frank Castle.
They gave Frank his own show, man. They gave him 13 episodes. Don't leave Frank out.
Now again, if you're a Walking Dead fan, you'll know who plays the Punisher. And you're gonna hate me because I watched all these shows, The Walking Dead, but I can't remember his name in Walking Dead. Save my soul. So, but he was Rick's partner, and they whatever. But anyway, that's a different show. We're not talking about Walking Dead today. Maybe we will in the future.
Yeah,
maybe around Halloween or something. That'd be cool.
Get in the community. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know what you want to hear. I mean, we got some open space between movies and shows when there's nothing else, so we do pretty much whatever. So let us know what you want to hear about on our site. We'll hit the comedy.
So Punisher, man,
great show. I like the development of Frank Castle in Daredevil, and I had thought, I knew there was a Punisher coming, and I thought, well, man, it's going to be hard to one up that. But once he got into his own show, I think they did. I think they just took the origin they built on in Daredevil and they amplified it tenfold.
Oh yeah. Punisher's appearance is an introduction in Daredevil season 2, like the first episode when they have gangs and cartels just getting slaughtered,
right?
And Daredevil's looking for the group that's doing this, and then you find out
it's not a group;
it's one man. Yeah, it's just one man. So okay, man, that was a great introduction. But then they show the Punisher that episode, and then the Punisher whoops his ass that episode, and then in episode 2, Frank comes back and whoops his ass again.
Right. Well, but one thing, Frank could have very easily killed Daredevil, but it wasn't his point to kill him. No. He wanted to make him realize why he was doing what he was doing, why he was who he was.
Oh, yeah, you're one bad day from being me.
Right.
That's one of the best lines in the
world. I love that line. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, because Mr. Cotton, one of my supervisors at work, he watched The Punisher, and because he was kind of confused, like the beginning, like why is Frank killing those people? It's like, dude, man, you gotta watch Daredevil. It's like, but now I'm gonna feed you some crack, man, because once you watch Daredevil season 2, then you're gonna go back and watch season 1, and then you're gonna get stuck on this whole Netflix world because you got to see how Frank started.
Right. I mean, that's it. That is very important to a character. Otherwise, it looks like he's just some vigilante. He goes around and kills people, but he's really not. There is a motive behind the man. There's a reason he does what he does.
Oh yeah,
and it's pretty gruesome, and that's something that they've been true to the story on. Even in the movie renditions of the Punisher, they pretty much stayed true to that part of the story as to why he is what he is. But.
Okay, now do you guys know that there was actually 3 Punisher movies before this Punisher? All right, so way back in 1989, Dolph Lundgren did the Punisher
He
with
did.
Lou Gossett Jr. Lou Gossett Jr. is the Samuel Jackson of the '80s. He's the black guy in every movie in the world. And I watched that Punisher movie, and it's a great action shoot 'em up movie because like many people get killed. It's a great '80s action movie,
and that's what it is.
Yeah, that's all it is.
They didn't really follow, outside of why he does it, outside of his family getting killed. Nothing else. He follows anything in the story.
He didn't even have a skull shirt.
No, he just killed people.
I hated that movie. It's like you can't even put on a shirt with a skull.
Right. He just killed people. And he's a Punisher.
Yeah. And then the next one.
One of these days we're gonna do a list. We're gonna talk about the heroes of crapdom, and we're gonna go over the worst superhero movies ever, and we'll talk more about that movie in depth on that.
That movie was horrible.
Wait till you hear my number one on that. I love it.
So then they did the Thomas Jane Punisher in 2004 with John Travolta, and I liked that movie because it had the calculating Frank, the fact that his family got killed in Puerto Rico, not Central Park, and that he was dealing in Miami. Okay,
semantics,
whatever. Yeah, I'm okay, but like the way he got his revenge was awesome. Like that's how what Frank does. He's calculating. He's and then they were supposed to do a sequel and they couldn't get Thomas Jane. So then Marvel Studios did the Punisher Warzone with Ray Stevenson, which made it more of a comic book movie.
It had a comic feel to it, and believe it or not, I actually like this one. I think the action's good. I think there's plenty of death to go around if that's your thing. But what really sold me was early on in the movie, when Ray Stevenson comes down from the ceiling, he's hanging upside down, spinning around, killing everybody in the room. That sold me on the movie. I thought this is great.
Yeah,
and it does. It's some of the stuff's a little over the top. It's not.
It's comic book.
It's comic book. Exactly. It's got the comic book feel, which I like in a comic book movie. Really.
Yeah. I do have to say it's probably the worst movie Marvel Studios has ever made.
Oh, absolutely.
As
far as
a Marvel Studios
enjoyable
movie
to watch, it's a good movie to watch. Yeah. I thought they were a little over the top with Jigsaw.
Yeah. Like I said, it was comic booky, so I wasn't prepared for that after coming off the Thomas Jane, and so the way Marvel corrected all these horrible Punisher movies was with the Netflix series, which was awesome. They introduced Micro, his sidekick, the guy.
Right.
Billy Russo became Jigsaw. I like that character, and the way I'm not really feeling his Jigsaw, but I'm okay with that. And then they linked it to the other Netflix series by having Karen Page in there. Karen was Frank's Link in the Daredevil season 2. So, but yeah, that Punisher season 2, man, that was spot on.
I thought so too.
Totally spot on. So, all right. So, what's your favorite series? Tough.
It is really tough. I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to put Jessica Jones bottom.
Season 2? Or are you going to break it? Or you just...
I'm just going to break it down by show.
Okay.
Because season 2 would definitely be the bottom if I was going by season.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put her at the bottom. I'm just going to break it down by the 5 shows. She'll be at the bottom. My next one up is probably going to be Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
And then above Iron Fist, I'm probably going to go with the Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
And above that, I'm going to go with Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Punisher second. And the one that got me hooked on the Marvel shows on Netflix altogether, number 1, is Daredevil. I think it was the best, most well done. And it's what got me hooked in the first place to watch all these others. Otherwise, I may never watched them. So.
I feel. See, in my rankings, I broke them down by season. So of the 9 seasons, Jessica Jones season 2 I got as the bottom. Then even though I liked it, I got Iron Fist season 1 at 8. Defenders season 1 at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got Punisher at 6. And Jessica Jones season 1 above that at 5. And I'll tell you why. Kilgraven. That's someone would say hands down. Kilgraven.
He is one of my favorite
villains.
Right.
So, and 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, I alternate between Daredevil and Luke Cage. Like, I like Daredevil season 2 first, then Luke Cage season 2, then Daredevil season 1, Luke Cage. Like, those intertwine. And again, it's villain. Because I was like, okay, man, Daredevil season 1 did have Kingpin, but Daredevil season 2 had Kingpin and Punisher and Elektra.
Right.
I mean, it did raise the bar.
Season 1's what got me into these shows.
Right.
Season 2 upped the bar for me. I mean, that was really good.
Yeah, and then my torn between Luke Cage was Cottonmouth got killed too early.
I agree.
And Bushmaster, I mean, through that whole show, man, like when he whooped Luke Cage's ass in the streets the first time, then they had the fight on High Bridge, which is up in the Bronx to Manhattan, one of those landmarks that I know dear to my heart, and whooped his ass on the High Bridge. And then but Bushmaster, like, to me made that. But when it comes to like Bushmaster versus the Punisher, I gotta go again. In Daredevil, I gotta go with that Daredevil season 2. Like, there's so many awesome things in that Daredevil. Like I said, like the trial of Frank Castle, when Frank's in jail and the Kingpin opens up the cells and Frank kills everybody with the shank. Like, that whole scene, I was like, yo, that's Frank Castle. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the Elektra story and the hand stuff. Like, I think they kind of. I don't know if it was too much, but still, it was good enough for me. That's why I put that up there. All right, so who's your favorite Netflix villain?
My favorite villain has got to be Wilson Fisk. I mean, Kingpin. That, to me, he played the role perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, unlike in the movie, it wasn't Kingpin.
Yeah.
It was a letdown.
Yeah.
Is what it was. But this guy, and you're right, I can't ever say his name.
Yeah.
Gomer Pyle. We're calling him Gomer Pyle. He was amazing. And at first, I was like, okay, how's he going to be? And I'm watching. And when he stuck that dude's head in the car door and bashed it off, I mean, took his head off at the car door, I was like, oh my God, that is Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
And and you get more into him than that too. You don't just have the villain. He shows you why he becomes a villain.
Right.
His dad was a douche nozzle.
Right. Yeah.
So it builds up in true Netflix Marvel fashion. You get that nice build up of the villain just as much as the hero, which I really really enjoy. My second favorite one.
You said Madame Gao, right?
It's Madame Gao.
I went with Kilgraven because, again, like, that dude makes the series.
He does. Without him, Jessica Jones fails. I think.
Yeah. See, you're not a Potter guy, but that's Barty Crouch Jr. So,
right.
So I much better as Kilgraven versus Barty Crouch Jr. for my Harry Potter peeps. But yeah, man.
Doctor Who.
Huh? He is Doctor Who.
Yeah, he's a Doctor Who.
Huh. Yeah, I wouldn't know that. I need.
Yeah, we don't watch Doctor Who.
That's going to be you and Applegate on that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
And the only episode I liked in Jessica Jones season 2 was the Kilgraven episode.
Right.
So that's why I have him at number 2. I have Madame Gao at 5 because at 3 and 4 I have Bushmaster and then Cottonmouth. And like I said, like I talk so much about Bushmaster. I think he's the best character in Luke Cage. Period. Season
so
1
too.
and 2.
I think so too.
I think he's the most developed character.
I think he's
in
better
1
than
and 2.
Cottonmouth.
Oh yeah.
Although I think Cottonmouth could have been better had they not killed him off.
Well, like when they go into the whole Stokes family, like,
yeah.
I mean, just like the horrific things that happened. I mean, with Mariah and her daughter and the uncle and like, I mean, man, if they would have kept him alive, I would love to see how that would have worked out.
I think there was more room for him.
Yeah. Unless they just couldn't pay him because that guy's like a super actor. Like,
he is.
Look, man, we're giving you like 5 episodes. That's it, man. We can't afford you.
Right.
So that's my thing. So what do you want to see in the future for Netflix? The Marvel guys at Netflix.
Well, we already mentioned. I would like to see an actual Heroes for Hire show. They don't necessarily have to redo the Defenders. I think you can continue with their individual series, and then if you want to bring them together in Heroes for Hire. It's mostly going to be Danny Rand and Luke Cage,
right.
But it's all right to say, "Hey, Daredevil, can you come help me?" Or, "Hey, Jessica, we need this."
more crossover interaction. Yeah,
right, and they've already built that rapport between all of them with the Defenders and their little cameos in each other's shows. So, You know, that already exists. So you could do that in Heroes for Hire, and I think Heroes for Hire would save the Iron Fist show from the chopping block. Of course, we haven't seen season 2 yet.
No.
They may totally blow us away.
Yeah, I think season 2 comes out. Oh my goodness, next weekend.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think it is. I think it is, yeah.
Wow. So okay, there goes. Oh man, football Iron Fist. Sorry, Iron Fist, you're gonna lose out on that one. But well, it's at night. I'll watch it.
I mean, I definitely want to see more Daredevil.
Yeah, season 3 comes out,
and I definitely want to see more Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I want to see more Punisher.
Yeah,
I definitely want to see.
I know that Daredevil season 3 is pretty much done. I believe they done production. They finished wrapped that up. I know Iron Fist is the next one. Punisher season 2 they wrapped up production on that. So that's coming. And then there's a green light for Jessica Jones season 3 and green light for Luke Cage season 3. Because like I said, both of those left like on cliffhangers. Like,
Right.
There's no there better be a Luke Cage season 3 because I was pissed at the way that ended.
I know, right?
I was pissed.
That was kind of a disappointment, really.
Yeah.
I was all amped up.
I get it. To protect it, you have to control it, but that was... I was so mad about that.
Well, I was
so
for a
mad
little
about
bit
that.
more, and they just left me hanging. I hate that.
So this is my dream, man. I wish that they would do a movie with the Kingpin and the Punisher and the Daredevil and some guy named Spider-Man.
Hell yes.
All together. And I think that would blow up.
I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, Kingpin goes after Spider-Man. He gets a lawyer named Matt Murdock. I mean, he hires the Punisher to kill Spider-Man. Something, and it all comes together. You just throw Spider-Man and have the Kingpin, a guy who is a prominent movie actor, be the Kingpin in a blockbuster movie.
I think that would be a great movie.
So, if Marvel was connected, I could see that happening. But I keep on saying it.
I think it would be a great movie. You know what else I would not mind seeing. And you don't even need all the characters from the Netflix shows, but we are reaching an end point as far as what they're going to give us with the Avengers. And in fact, a lot of these guys, their contracts are running out, and they may or may not be back in the future. So, but there is such thing as the new Avengers, and that some of our Netflix characters are actually a part of in the comics. So, bring them from the small screen to the big screen, and give us a new Avengers movie, maybe as a follow-on to.
In the 2000s, when I was reading Avengers, the new Avengers, they had a team which it was Luke, Danny, Jessica, Doctor Strange, Wolverine, Spider-Man.
That's perfect.
I mean,
the MCU now
everybody's back. Right? Everybody's home.
Everything's back. So, and even though Hugh Jackman said he wasn't going to do Wolverine no more, he did say he would do Wolverine in an Avengers movie. So what if you brought back the new Avengers after Avengers 4? That'd be pretty awesome. I think it's a great idea. If you're hearing us, Disney, MCU, that's what we want. We want to see it, and so do all our fans.
Yeah, fans, put it on the page so we can blast it on Facebook.
Absolutely. All
right, so that's pretty much the Netflix show. I just want to give guys like the Facebook page, be a part of the Hero Talk community. We have some great conversations.
Yeah, make sure you
great, good, positive conversations. No trolling.
Make sure you hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram, and that stuff too.
Also, in true fashion, I usually like to give a shout out to some real life heroes, and so this week I'd like to give a shout out to all our friends in red, firemen all over the world. They put their lives on the line every day for people all over, and they're my heroes of the week.
So. All right, sounds good. All right, everybody, thanks for listening.
Yeah, this is Joe.
That's Steve.
And this is Hero Talk.